We got you with the final franchise today, and that involves Chris Godwin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Uh, they're making a smart move here because Chris Godwin was a part of that Super Bowl team this past season. He caught 65 passes this year for 840 yards and 7 TDs in his first season playing with the Buccaneers. I think is actually really good. I mean, it's not as good as all the other wide receivers that we talk about, but it's still relatively productive. So, with that being said, this was reported by Pelissero and written by Nick Shook, who was around the NFL writer. So, you go first, Mario. What do you think of the Buccaneers franchise tag and Chris Godwin?
Well, first off, I just want to say congratulations to Chris Godwin on staying with the Bucks for at least another year. I'm concerned, but I'm not, and it's complicated, Nate. Let me explain why. I'll tell you why I'm not concerned. Right after this year, if Chris Godwin can stay active, he was also hurt, which is another reason why he was hurt a few games, which is also another reason why he only had 840 yards. But if he can be consistent, he could put up like 1,000 yards in a full healthy season, like I know he can, then it wouldn't be a dumb move to keep Chris Godwin. Here's why I am concerned, right? They got somebody named Antonio Brown. They got somebody named Scotty Miller. And I'm not saying Scotty Miller is going to hit 1,000 yards. Okay, Scotty Miller is going to be probably a fourth string wide receiver. Now let's point to Antonio Brown real quick, okay? Because we know Mike Evans is going to be number one. We know Mike Evans is going to be the numero uno wide receiver for Tom Brady. We know this, okay? Personally, when Tom Brady got on the team, I thought Chris Godwin was going to be the number one because I thought he hit it off better with Chris Godwin than he did with Mike Evans. Not that like he had any problems with them. I just thought he had a better connection with Chris Godwin. But when the season started, we obviously seen Mike Evans and we obviously seen the connection that him and Tom Brady had and how good it was. But then you also got to look at Antonio Brown. Okay, if Antonio Brown ends up staying with the Bucks, right, and he ends up putting up 1,000 yard seasons, right, we could be looking at Antonio Brown being the next number two, and then moving on from Chris Godwin, because then they'll probably think, oh, we don't need him no more, we don't need Chris Godwin no more because Antonio Brown is becoming a prolific number two. And then on top of the fact, if Gronk can stay consistent, like the end of the year, Gronk was doing very, very good. So if he can end up doing that for a whole season, then it makes it a little tougher to keep Chris Godwin. But if you want to continue Super Bowl and repeat it, Chris Godwin is a good is a good guy to keep. Obviously having Evans, Godwin, and Brown is going to make is the three piece right there that can beat a lot of teams. You take away a piece of that three piece, you only have a two piece. A two piece is not better than a three piece, and then you got to figure out, well, how are we gonna replace Chris Godwin? Is Scotty Miller going to be the guy to do it? Is Tyler Johnson going to be the guy to do it? Do we add Cameron Brate and put a two tight end set there? So these are all the questions that you have to ask. This is why I'm okay with giving Chris Godwin this franchise tag. I want to see how he does. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if Chris Godwin is as big as a factor as we think he is. Personally, I believe he is. I believe Chris Godwin is as big as a factor as the Buccaneers should look at him as. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers should be looking at Chris Godwin as a big factor, which he is. So after this franchise tag, I expect Chris Godwin to get re-signed. Do I expect it to be a big contract like Allen Robinson's? No. Why? Because Allen Robinson is the number one guy on the Chicago Bears offense. That is the number one guy right there. Chris Godwin is not the number one guy on the Buccaneers, which means the value of that contract might slowly go down. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How much cap space does the Buccaneers have?
14 million.
Okay. Depending on what you do at the end of next year.
Oh, my bad. 15 million.
15 million. That's how much the Bucks have in cap space?
Yes.
Okay, this franchise tag was worth 15.8 million. Just above the cap space, okay? So depending on what you do next year and who you get rid of and who you keep and how much cap space you get or how much you give up, it's going to depend on you re-signing Chris Godwin. There's a possibility that if they make the wrong moves financially, Chris Godwin will not be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer next year. If they make the right moves, it's a better possibility that he stays. So with that being said, if they make the right moves and Chris Godwin stays consistent and they see that Chris Godwin is a big, big factor to this team, then I can see Chris Godwin getting an extension. If he ends up dealing with more injuries and sometimes he might not be consistent and you start seeing Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski do their thing and you see like some improvement out of Scotty Miller, then it makes the chances for Chris Godwin less likely to resign. So it's a very, very tough situation. Chris Godwin said he wants to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I couldn't blame him. Obviously you have such a good team over there. There were games where Chris Godwin, I believe, was the number one over Mike Evans and Antonio Brown. But again, we got to see consistency in Chris Godwin. We got to see good financial, planning with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we have to see that Chris Godwin is a very big factor to the reason why the Tampa Bay Bucks are winning games. And so, with that being said, I wish the Tampa Bay Bucks the best of luck. I wish Chris Godwin the best of luck, and I'm pretty interested to see how year two for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady is going to go.
yeah, I'll pick up from there. Go up to Chris Godwin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, man, I absolutely agree. Obviously, he came off an injury this year, so this year he has last season, so this year he has to prove that he can stay healthy and stay consistent. That's and durable as well. So obviously, those are things you ask for a player. Obviously, if you get injured, it's not necessarily your fault. Things happen. There's really nothing you can do about that.
Right.
But now that you're coming off an injury, you gotta make sure you stay healthy. Um, I was reading the other day that there was a rumor that Tom Brady said he wants Odell to join the Bucks, but that's just a rumor. So don't take my
Right.
word for it. So that's something they could do, but I'm not sure. That's just a rumor. So don't take my word for it. But do keep it in mind. That could be something that's in their best interest as of right now as we speak. Yeah, man. I mean, and if that happens, and obviously, that's when the question asks, what's in it for Chris Godwin's future? Most likely, he's probably going to leave because now they got. If they did go, let's say if they did get Odell, then yeah, Chris Godwin's probably going to be out of a job and go to another team. But right, like again, it's a rumor, so it's not slated to happen. So again, don't take my word for it. But yeah, I mean, I do wish Chris Godwin. There's not really much for me to say here. I just hope he stays healthy. I hope he stays consistent, and I wish him and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the best of luck. Well, not so much given that they're my division rival, but I do wish Chris Godwin the best of luck and try not to win too much. We need to win the damn division, yo. Just kidding. We're probably rebuilding. But with that being said, best of luck to Chris Godwin, and I'm excited to see how year two goes for him.